Welcome back to another review, this time for the anime Necronomico, the cosmic horror show, which had 12 episodes and was airing in summer of 2025. Synopsis from any list: we all need a chance to change our lives. The story follows Miko Kurono, who began her dream career as a live streamer under the name Necronomico after graduating middle school. Amid spending her days with childhood friend Mayu Mayusaka and rival Kana Kagurazaka, she's introduced to a new VR game project. Upon encountering the game, the girls start pursuing the irreplaceable now. Now this show is very confusing. The idea is that we have our main character, Miko, and we have a bunch of characters that get invited to try this new VR game. Inside this VR game are the great old ones, Cthulhu, and their whole mythos, and they are personified in some characters, and they present games in this VR game, which our characters, Miko is one of them, are going to play in. And if they lose, the old ones get stronger. If they are strong enough, they can go and conquer the planet Earth like they want to. And that is the idea. Now, idea-wise, I feel like you can do a lot with that. It's the idea, hey, the great old ones, they come back, they want to take over the planet. But instead of trying the old way, they, try a little bit of a modern take. Okay, I can get behind that. We do have, like, as you see on the picture, we have like our 8 contestants that take part in these games, and then you have the great old ones up above, which is already one of the big problems I have with the show. Now, you have this very colorful show with really a lot of color. It's very colorful, very bright. However, the content you more or less want to showcase is somewhat dark. However, it doesn't mesh well. The tightrope was not really done well between like a bright show and having like some kind of horror or darker theme. It just doesn't mesh well. There are other shows that do it a lot better. I would say something like Higurashi does it pretty well, of like it has a very bright appearance, however it gets very messed up. This one, it feels like we are never really going into the messed up parts, but it wants to, it tries, but it fails. It just fails for me. The bright appearance and having like a more messed up theme, and it clashes the whole time, in my opinion. It doesn't help that the 8 main characters, I mean, some of them are fine, some of them are at best. The great old ones, they seem pretty decent. They they like to wreak havoc. They have these games. And the games are already one of the big problems I have, because you have the great old ones, they each make more or less like a game, and our candidates, our 8 people, humans, they take part in this game. And for some reason, the old ones, they want to drain your sanity. They potentially want to kill you. They want you to feel despair. This is what feeds them, and if they are fed enough, they can finally break free. However, they do it in a way that feels cheap, because it's like, okay, we have this game, like 3/4 into the game, we just change the rules. We just cheat. We just change the rules, and it's like, why? You could have done this a lot smarter, which, to their credit, in a later game they did. You can have a game with specific rules, and later on you just uncover that you know, there are some rules that may not be openly stated, but they are there. You just did not pay enough attention. And this is what I would have liked for the whole series, that every game has like a specific set of rules, but you know, you can move outside of these rules and that is not specifically stated. But they, in my opinion, only did that once, and they, in my opinion, messed it up a lot. Because it's like, okay, look at this. This is a rule that I did not really state, but you could have inferred, and some people inferred that rule, some of the players, which is, okay, cool. And now we just enforce that rule because we didn't enforce that rule before, because fuck you, we changed the rules. It's like, you could have done a similar thing, but made it so that it is coherent and works better, instead of having them cheat, because it's like, it just cheapens the whole thing. Because if that is the case, why not cheat the whole time? Why not cheat that the human players just lose? I mean, you can. You are able to cheat in this way. Why not just cheat all the way? If you already cheat, it's like, it cheapens the whole thing. I did not like that. Some of the dialogue was just stupid and did not fit. We had the whole dialogue of one of the great ones saying, oh, you are like ants and you would not really, you know, you would not do like a deal with ants if they wanted to make a deal, which is a stupid statement, because sure, if I don't want anything from the ants, I wouldn't do a deal. But if I had an ant that would come to me and offer a deal, I would definitely be open to, you know, look at that, because it's a fucking talking ant. I mean, and in this case, the old ones, they do want or appreciate some part of Earth or humans, so there is benefit to a deal. But we have this whole, oh yeah, we need to do the talking thingy. Meh. Also, I would have liked a lot more that the old ones, quotations, whatever you call them, if they were a little bit against each other, you know, they would, each of them have their own idea and what they want to accomplish, and more or less they backstab each other a little bit, instead of the old ones all being on the same side, which, to be honest, I don't know the Cthulhu mythos at all. So, you know, but I would have liked this a lot more. In this way, we just have these 8 humans, and naturally some of them fight each other because we need opposition. We can't have the great old ones fight us because, you know, they are invincible. So we have the humans fight each other. Yay, I guess. It just did not work at all for me. Again, I really hate that the rules got changed partway for like all of the games, which is like, it just cheapens the whole idea, because the idea would be nice. The idea, I can definitely see the idea, hey, we, the great old ones, we want to take over the planet, but we need enough despair or sanity to drain from the planet to, you know, feed us so we can take root. And we do this in, you know, virtual means, because this is how we can reach the most people the quickest. There's a lot of potential you could do there. I did not feel like the show did it well. Again, the art style clashed too much with the themes, in my opinion. It tried to do some comedy, did not really. It just did not work for me at all. I did not like the show. I watched all 12 episodes. Yay. There was some stupid stuff at the end, which is like, okay, we are outside. There was even some other stuff where we had like big fights that could have come, but they did not. As it's a mess. It's a mess. Did not enjoy it. I do want to showcase some stuff, I guess, because I try to at least show a little bit. Now, I can understand there are probably a lot of people that jumped off the show because of the first episode, because it tried to do this like 3D game, whatever the game is called, but they try to do like a 3D version of the game in the universe, but it's only episode 1 and the other episodes are normal animation. So I'm just going to, I don't know why is this always okay. Just going to showcase a little bit. These are the great old ones. So I just want to showcase you how they look like. So yeah, you see the old ones. The biggest one you probably know, even if you don't know anything about Cthulhu, which I do not. This one is Cthulhu. Yes, they are giant, and she's always in some panties, walking around in panties. I don't know. I don't know what they wanted to do. Did they want to go more in the comedic way? It was not very funny. Again, there were a lot of themes in the show that were pretty dark, but it just did not work with the brightness that the rest of the show had. It just did not work for me. The ratings for any list, 54%. My anime list has it at 6.2. As you see, not a lot of people watched it. I would say it's a 6 out of 10. It's a meh show. Again, it just did not work. What they presented did not work. I mean that the old one cheat in their game, cool, but not that, you know, that not that openly. Especially if they cheat that openly, they could just cheat so you lose and, you know, they win essentially, which they didn't do. They just changed the rules part way of the games, which just cheapens the game. You could have set rules at the beginning of the game, thought out good rules that, you know, you leave some wiggle room that you then exploit later. But instead of that, we just changed the rules, which just... Also, some of the games just didn't work. There's a tower defense. Spoiler, but one of the games is a tower defense, in which you do not build any towers to defend, which is the namesake of the game mode. You build towers to defend something, not that you defend towers. That is not what the game is. Now you can say, oh, they don't know because they have like all the knowledge they can and want to get. They can read your mind seemingly. There was one thing that I do want to give them credit for. There was one twist that was pretty well done, I have to say. Not gonna spoil it, naturally, but there was one twist of one of the humans that was pretty well done. Did not expect that. Was pretty well done. You know, that was one of the bigger highlights in my opinion. But it just did not work. The end was pretty messy. The games were cheap. They felt cheap. Even though the beginning were pretty nice. The concept is nice. The overall for the show and for some of the games, the concept, okay, can definitely get behind it. But they cheapen it with those rule changes. I would have liked the old ones to fight a bit against each other. You know, backstabbing, they can't die, so, you know, you fuck them over a little bit because, I don't know, you maybe want to get the whole world in a dream world because that is what you want, while another one wants to torture everyone. I don't know the Cthulhu mythos, but it would have been a lot more fun this way. you know, like the quote-unquote opposition. He was pretty annoying. Very annoying. Very annoying. Especially how people deal with people like that. It's always the Japanese way of, you know, just punch him, kill him, do whatever. So, yeah. This did not work for me at all.